Hello, 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 good people. It is Wednesday and it is hot. I believe it's almost 96, 97 degrees. But I'm excited to be here. I'm indoors, got the fan blowing on me, and I got a really good friend who I'm bringing on this episode of Zoomin with Zack that I hope you guys can connect with. So super excited for today's show. Wanted to go over this quote that I pulled here that I wanted to share with you. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I think that's a really awesome and important quote from Maya Angelou. It makes me think of right now how we're getting back into live events. One of the things that was missing a lot over this last year and a half was the feeling that you get from being around people and being at events. And now that things are starting to open back up, starting to get that feeling again. So I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind and great for all businesses when you're trying to grow. How do you make your customers feel versus are you providing them a service? Are you doing what you said you were going to do? How do you really make them feel? Something to think about. But super excited for today's episode. Don't want to waste any time. Let's get right into it. And welcome to Zoom In with Zack. Friends, family, good people, welcome to another episode of Zooming with Zack. Super excited to have you with me today. Whether you're watching on Facebook, the My New Philly Facebook page, my LinkedIn page, make sure you're sharing the show. Give me comments. If you have questions for our guests, feel free to throw those out to us. But your engagement and your responses and feedback is what helps me improve the show and lets me know I'm doing something that people actually care about, which is always great to know. So yeah, make sure you're liking, sharing, leaving comments, all that good stuff. But today, I'm super excited to have my guest because this is one of the few folks that knew about Zoom In with Zack like before I even did like one episode. And I didn't know when I was going to bring him on the show, but I figured at some point he's going to be on here and get to talk about all the awesome things we get to do together. So super excited to introduce my friend, my colleague, the one and only Mr. Kevin Homer. Kevin Homer, welcome to the show. See, people always do this. Kevin's still on mute. He don't know how to work the mute button.
Take two. Let's try this again. Hey, Zach, thank you for finally having me on your show today.
Yeah, there we go. No, how could I not? How could I not? Let me give the people a little bit of a background and a run back. So many of you know I've been with My New Philly for years, right? And coming up as we got towards like 2018, the big issue I was coming across was like as a consultant, started a brand, had a bunch of small clients, but I really needed something that was a little more sustainable. I needed to either get a client or come up with some sort of partnership that was on a much larger scale than some of the small businesses I was working with. And Kevin, I think it was my sister-in-law that connected us.
It was, yep.
Yep. She saw a job posting. Shout out to Laura. She saw a job posting you put out for a full-time biz dev person. And I mean, it described my skill set to a T. So, I reached out about it. And I don't think I was in that mindset of like, hey, do I make a switch from consulting back to full-time work? And I know you were looking for someone that could work full-time. And we kind of came to this interesting agreement.
And I was not looking for a consultant.
No, not at all.
So when Laura came to me, I said, well, this isn't what I'm looking for, but what the heck? You can never know too many people. So
right.
I think we went to Panera. We went to Panera anyway.
Okay.
Even though I didn't have what you were looking for and you didn't have what I was looking for, or so we thought.
So we thought. We ended up coming up with a nice little way to work together where, I basically am a part-time employee of Navitas, able to bring some of the expertise and experience, that comes along with someone who's been in sales for 10 years or however long I've done it. Jesus, I feel old. But it was actually a really good marriage. And I never really looked at Navitas as a client. I always use the word partnership or partner. And, as I began to work with you guys, I learned so much more about marketing. Like I was always good from like a sales perspective and sort of I understand like how people buy. But that other area of marketing, the strategy aspect behind it, some of those other ancillary things like website development, like I could do a website on Wix, but now I can actually talk to someone about WordPress and what SEO is. And, I learned a lot being there. So I'm very grateful. but it's been a minute. We've been working together for 3 years, more
Crazy.
than 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to work on some awesome projects with some great clients, and video work that we do. We bring in some of our Mind of Philly team members, so it's been very joyous. I know not all relationships work that way, but I'm very grateful for the one that we have. And Kevin, I want you to give people a little bit of background rundown on you, both at Navitas Marketing and of course Homer Group as well.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And Zach, I mean, everything you just said is 100% accurate. I think we've been really good for each other. I think you've brought another level of creativity to our team. When it comes to marketing and creativity, you can never have too many of those creative brains on the team. Throwing ideas at each other. Obviously, your content creation skills are fantastic, and obviously that video element, which we've done video to some extent for a long time, but we definitely pumped it up once you came on board, and just some of the creativity that you've been able to apply to social media clients and overall just branding campaigns, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've been thrilled how our team has been able to help your other ventures and other connections that you have, and then vice versa, that you and your connections have added so much to our team also. It's been great.
Thank you, man.
It's all about the linkages. That's something
Right.
my grandfather has always pushed when he was back in the business, and definitely is true today. But that kind of gives me the segue, I guess, as far as my intro. So for those of you that don't know, Zach and I are both here in the Philadelphia market, serving clients on a national level, but we're in the Philly market. And we started off as a family business. My grandfather, back in the 1940s, actually started Homer Photo Labs, which was a photo finishing business. The photo finishing business evolved into a printing company, which evolved into a printing and graphic design company. We were actually the first printers in the Philadelphia area to use computers for design. So we've been offering graphic design for close to 50 years.
Wow.
Built our first website in 1994, back when most businesses thought they didn't need a website. Some of them wanted to be trendy and keep up with the fad. And we were one of the few people out there, a few companies out there that were able to offer that service. So we've been doing websites for over 25 years. Printing industry, of course, it had its changes. Once technology really started to boom and we started to see more of the online marketing. I personally had been working on the corporate side. I had some really good roles working with Johnson & Johnson and a few other bigger companies, and I had ultimately decided I wanted to be on the agency side. There's advantages to being on the corporate side. There's advantages to the agency side. I liked what the agency side offered, so I joined our family printing company, the Homer Group, and started its evolution into a marketing agency. We wanted printing to be one of the supporting services that we offered, not the primary focus. And in some ways it worked. In some ways it didn't. We had a very, very strong reputation as a printing company that we were kind of fighting. And, we realized if we are still going to offer this printing, and, our market wants to think of us as printers, who are we to stop them?
Right.
So took it one step further and we established Navitas. So Navitas is our marketing agency now, and the Homer Group went back to being our printing company. My father and I, Guy and I, run the printing company together, and I run our agency. Navitas. Shout out to Guy if you're watching. I'll be nice just in case. So Navitas has been around. Technically, the name is 7 years old now, but the services we've been doing for almost 50 years. When you think back to the graphic design, so it's been a fun ride. I've had a couple, side projects here and there, over the years. I probably keep myself a little too busy, but Zach knows how it is. Our creative and entrepreneurial minds, they're always thinking of something new, and sometimes you just can't resist, even if it's maybe not the most practical thing at the time.
Right.
We've had our side projects, and we've met. Zach and I both have met a lot of people over the years, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun ride.
It certainly has. And it's interesting. I think there's probably 7 or 8 of our clients that are going to be on this Zoomin with Zack at some point, because that's the nice thing I like is we've had really great relationships with folks. We work well with them, but I'm a big people person. I love bonding beyond just like, hey, here's a service and I can execute. And that's held true. We have a lot of great relationships that we've established through Navitas. So super excited about working with you and with Homer Group and continuing to grow and bringing on even more and even bigger clients. Fingers crossed. But it's time for 3 random questions.
Uh-oh.
This is when the show gets real, Kevin. It's about to get real. I need you to give me a 3-digit number, and none of the numbers can be the same. So 942 is eligible.
That's a terrible number.
That's not a that's a great number, sir. What 3-digit number are you giving me?
We're going to start with number 1.
Okay.
That's always been my lucky number.
I don't know why, but sure.
You know why.
1, and what else? Give me the full number.
We're going to go number 3.
Okay.
We didn't have the best Sixers season, but we still got to give a little shout out to Allen Iverson.
I can appreciate it.
And I don't have a good reason for this one, but let's go with number 9.
I'm pretty sure the number that I said that you said was trash was like 931, and you reversed it. I think it was.
I doubt it.
Okay. As you can see, me and Kevin have a lot of fun when we're chatting, business or pleasure. So let's go with number 1. First question. What is a cause you are passionate about and why, Kevin?
That's a good question. It probably should be an easy one, shouldn't it? Honestly, there are so many different people of need, different animals of need, different causes, to reflect your word. It's really hard to pick just one.
Give me 2 if you want to give me 2.
I got a soft spot for animals. I like to see, the animal rescues getting their love. I'm a big proponent of adopt, don't shop. I understand, why there's an appeal to purebreds and everything, and why it's done. But there are so many animals that need to be rescued, that need a second chance, need their forever homes, that are stuck in crates, that are being euthanized. Definitely have a soft spot for that. I'd say that's my number 1. Let's go with that.
Fair. And shout out to Phoebe, because you do have
a
rescue dog that is our office dog, who is definitely scared of me, but it's cool.
She pretends.
Fair. And yeah, number 3.
The game.
Right. Question 3. Looking ahead, what's something major you hope to accomplish in the next 2 years?
Something major.
And this can be business, it can be personal, it can be whatever you want it to be. But something major you hope to accomplish in the next 2 years.
I would like to get a vacation home. My wife and I have always talked about. I'm a big fan of having like the rental properties, the investment properties. I think there's value, there's money to be made. I do have a townhouse right now that I previously lived in. Had the plan of keeping it to rent out. I was hoping to, that model, was a sustainable model. I was hoping to get a couple other rental properties. And then, of course, the housing market is just crazy right now and everything's so expensive. So, I'm not doing that. But I've also talked about having a rental property, possibly in the mountains, possibly at the beach. Obviously, those are 2 very different price scales. But I'd love to have, in all honesty, it's a getaway that can be mine, that other people can pay for. So, knowing that I've had success in the rental, area previously, we own our office building and we have tenants in there, and I've got my residential rental. I'd love to keep adding to that.
Gotcha. I would love for you too as well, because then I will make sure I'm renting that from you at least once or twice a year. So good luck in that, Kevin. Yep. I hope you get it.
Thank you.
Last random question. You chose 9.
I did.
Let's give you 9. If you could work in another industry or job, what would it be and why?
I think you know this answer.
I might.
My number 1 hobby, other than being a professional basketball player, I would like to be a chef. That's always been my dream, and maybe this is a good answer for number 3 also. But the other question we had, but I love to cook. I would love to somehow be involved in some sort of food venture. I've talked for years about possibly starting a restaurant, and I'd have to, having a general manager and having a chef, I don't have the 70 hours a week to invest in that, but just to be in charge of that food venture. Many years ago, I put together a business plan for basically like a food truck franchise. I think at the time I didn't really understand the franchising model, and I just said it was a food truck marketing company. But now that we have a lot of clients that are in franchising, and I think you've had a Zoomin with Zack guest previously. There was a franchise lawyer. Now that I know so much more about franchising, I look back at that business plan and I say, I was trying to start a franchise. I didn't even realize it at the time.
Right.
But I would love to do something in the food industry. And I think if I was not in marketing, that's probably what I would be doing.
Follow up random. If you could open a restaurant tomorrow, what's the cuisine?
I have gone in so many different directions with that question. I love Italian food.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a lot of popularity right now with that, like, semi-fast food. When you think about, like, you step up to the counter and you watch them make it for you. So it's the higher quality ingredients sometimes, but it's still made to order. I've thought about that for like pasta places, pasta shops. I've thought about that for a couple different cuisines. That was kind of my food truck. When I had that business plan, that was kind of my mindset there, that every truck would specialize in something very, very specific. So we'd have our pasta truck, and we'd have our taco truck, and we'd have our omelet truck. And rather than these food trucks that offer like everything under the sun crammed into a truck, I would rather specialize in something in each truck and do it really well.
Right.
And then part of the marketing would be these trucks would move around in Philadelphia, throughout the city. And, you'd have to keep track of, like, when is the, taco truck going to be in my area, but again, like the pasta truck, we'd have multiple types of noodles, multiple types of meats, multiple types of sauces and cheeses, and, make something that's, a pretty decent meal.
So for someone who
I'm going to need a list of who's watching this show. So if I see that pop up, I can cross-reference and see who stole it from me.
Fair. For someone who owns a smoker, I'm kind of astonished you didn't just go like a barbecue spot. So I'm going to claim the barbecue spot, because once I get my smoker in about a month, I'm going to become better than you at smoking as well. So
I was going to say, you could bring me in as the consultant who teaches you how to do it.
Yeah, right. Well, this has been great, man. Thank you for taking some time to chat with folks. Again, we do this show so that my audience on LinkedIn can get to know who you are, connect with you if there's some synergies. So folks, please make sure you hit up Kevin. He is on LinkedIn, and of course, follow Navitas Marketing on other platforms as well. I put out the Instagram because it's different. It's not marketing spelled out. I'll put it up there so you can see it again. Make sure you're following us on Navitas at Navitas MKTG, but it's just Navitas Marketing spelled out on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So make sure you're checking that out. And Kevin, that's all I got today. So I'm gonna let you close the show. Tell folks what you want to tell them. And again, people, thank you for checking out. I believe this is episode 13 of Zoomin with Zack. Kevin, I hand it over to you.
Lucky number 13. Zack, thank you so much for having me. Now that I'm alone, if anybody wants to leave any comments, any questions about Zack, if we want to talk about him, he's not here to defend himself. So you tell me what you want to talk about, and I'm ready to dish it out for you.
Buddy, I can pop in at any moment. Don't do that.
we can do it anyway. Thank you for everybody who decided to watch with us today. And, as Zack said, he and I have had, a great working relationship and a great friendship over the past few years. And, it's been really exciting just to see how we've been able to work together and help businesses grow, help clients grow, and just make friends in the community. That's what it's all about. So, anybody who would like to follow up with me, I'm on all the major social media platforms. Find me on Facebook, find me on LinkedIn, find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram. Same thing with my companies, Navitas Marketing as our marketing agency, and the Homer Group is our printing company. If you'd like to learn more about our businesses, you're welcome to visit www.navitasmarketing.com or www.homergroup.com. And again, always just happy to make new friends. So please, if you want to connect, if you have questions, if you just want to follow each other and, share stories on social and everything, I'm happy to do it. So Zach, thank you so much again. And to everyone viewing, have a great rest of the week and holiday weekend.